Can't see that. Are we moving into the final days? This is the thing. Oh, I really hope so. However, it still amazes me how many awake, not awake there are. I try not to talk about that anymore, but there are so many. So many that send me stuff, and I think you can't see it at all. Just to go over that one more time, hopefully for the last time. Who are the awake, not awake? They're awake to some things. They're awake to, lots of things. History, science, the truth of all those kind of things. The thing they're not awake to is the truth of them. This is the biggest problem. And there are so many people still think that the bad guys are in control. It amazes me how many people who follow me, because they mail me and I think, you haven't got a clue. You think you know, but you don't, because you're not connected to the heartfelt truth. When you're connected to the heartfelt truth, you see the truth of all things. And if you're connected to the heartfelt truth, you will know that the bad guys are 100% not in control. It's a movie. But there's a lot of people who claim to be awake. They can't see that. You're not as awake as you think you are. I hate to point this out, but it's true. It makes me wonder that look at what's going on now. There is so much truth being put out, isn't there? So if they're putting so much out now that they don't need to put out in the grand exposure, because a lot of that I thought would come out in the grand exposure, and it's not. It's coming out now. So they're saving the big stuff for the grand exposure. And I think a lot of the awake, not awake aren't going to buy it. That's my concern. I've been saying to people now for so many years, you need to get yourself reconnected. Why? Because then you get reconnected to this and you. And when you get connected to you, you can see the truth of all things, clear as day. Anybody who is truly connected is not the awake, not awake. They can see what's really going to happen. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be magical. But the awake, not awake can't see that. They still think the bad guys are running the show. They're not. So, I don't know. It kind of, when you look at the fact they're going to have martial law, there are going to be people who don't sit at home and watch the broadcasts. There are going to be people who are out on the street rioting, which is why there could be martial law, because there's going to be trouble. Some people say, well, I'm not staying indoors, I'm going to go outside and smash windows, to put it mildly. Most of those would either be people who are fast asleep, or it would be the awake, not awake. So it's going to be interesting, and that is the element of it that's going to be scary, because there's going to be a lot of trouble. People will probably die in riots, I don't know. But some people still haven't got hold of the idea that this is a movie. And who's running the movie? The good guys, right from the beginning. Some people who claim to be awake still can't see that. Like I keep saying, if you'd have listened to me and got yourself reconnected, you'd know the truth of all things now. All things, not just bits and pieces, the pieces that you've chosen. It's like the chemtrails and stuff. They're being done by the good guys now. Have been for a long, long time. Some people still mail me on a regular basis saying, when I do a video, they say there's lots of streaks. I think, well, I don't care. It's not what you think it is. Because you're clearly awake, not awake. You don't know what's going on. This is a great concern to me. Anyway, I think we're in the last, what shall I call it? Hopefully a few days, but I don't really know. It's got to be done by Christmas. Trump's the guy, he's in charge, he always was. He won the last election, most people know that by now. Some people won't, probably the awake, not awake don't know. But it's all there, it's just waiting to go really. I don't know, it kind of, I go through my day having a wonderful time and everything's getting sorted out. It's going to be wonderful, magical. And I get an email or something from somebody and I think, I had no idea you was one of the awake not awake. It boggles my mind that people, okay, I don't know these people, they're people online, we communicate via text message or whatever, and so I don't really know them, but I think, what? I've been aware of you now for 3 years and I've only just realised you're awake not awake because you've just basically told me you are. And you come to the realisation that this person that you've been communicating with for quite some time hasn't actually got a clue. I just can't help thinking how many of them are there. Anyway, we'll see, won't we? Personally, I think everything is good. I think everything's going to turn out to be wonderful. But I do kind of think that when they do the lockdown, you know, the martial law thing, if that's what they're still going to do, and I'd imagine they will do, because they've got all the people from abroad in this country, for example, in England, to control that. And there could be some people who don't realise that they actually were brought here intentionally to help control the situation in every country. It's an amazing plan that they've devised to wake people up, and they've taken it to the extreme where people have died. But this is how important it was to get, whatever you want to call it, the planet, whatever, back to where it needs to be. It was going to take extreme work to get it to here. I was talking with a guy the other day, we were talking about collateral damage, and he said the one thing that really bothers me is the amount of collateral damage. And I said, yeah, it bothers me too. Sometimes it was so extreme, you think, would they do that? But you think, yes, they would. It's like I've said so many times over the years, like in Star Trek, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And if you can save 20,000, but you lose 1,000, that's worth it. It's not good for the people that die, but that's what collateral damage is. These military operations, they have to decide, well, what shall we do? And it's always the decision of, we'll take the decision that will save most people. If we lose some, we lose some. And it's easy for them, because if you're dropping bombs from a great height, you don't know these people personally and you don't know who you're killing. And that sounds awful, but this is the military. And sometimes they have to make those decisions. If you've got a city and there's a bit of trouble there, but you know something's got to be taken out, and you know if you blow this building up, you're going to kill 300 people, but it will save probably the whole city, what are you going to do? You're going to blow up that building, aren't you? And that is the kind of thing that's been going on here for the last, well, years and years and years really, but we'll say the last 4 years. They've had to decide what strategy are they going to use to save the most people, and in the process hopefully wake up those that can't see it. And this is where we are now, and we're coming to the end of it. But it just amazes me that some people can't see it. So just to go over it one more time, how do you see the truth of all things? You get reconnected. The truth of you, the truth of all things. This is the thing. Once you get reconnected, you can see everything as clear as day. And if everybody had retained their connection, they wouldn't even got this far, the bad guys. Now the good guys are going to do it, well, they're doing what they're doing to wake everybody up. Some people aren't going to get it. It's to be interesting that when the grand exposure comes out, how many people are going to accept it. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, it is what it is. It will come out. It will change everything. If there's those people who still can't see it, accept it, my advice is get yourself reconnected, and then you will.